The head of Israel's Jewish agency, the body responsible for absorbing new immigrants, says he predicts a 400% increase next year in the number of Jews coming to Israel from Ukraine. Natan Sharansky, himself from Ukraine's war-torn east, said many of the people he spoke to were postponing the decision as long as they could, but that hasn't stopped immigration to Israel from reaching a record high. CCTV's Roee Ruttenberg explains.
Just a few months ago, the women of this family gathered in a kitchen in Donetsk, in eastern Ukraine, as war raged on outside. Now they're in northern Israel, in the new home they share. They are 4 generations of Jews who fled the only lives they knew for the same reason. When I see people here who are happy, I forget myself, but only for a moment, because then I think of those back home who are going through what I experienced, sleeping, hearing the bombs, not knowing where they're coming from or where to hide. Families like hers are starting over in Israel, and officials say they're contributing to a wave, a record high, in Jewish immigration to the Jewish state. But the rise, they note, is also due to a spike in immigration from France. Over the summer, hundreds of French Jews arrived in Israel, sponsored by the government here. Many cited rising anti-Semitism in France as the reason for their leaving. Scenes like this, windows of Jewish-owned shops in Paris smashed, were ingrained in the back of their minds. 42-year-old VALERY KALIFA left Paris for Tel Aviv 6 months ago. She says her parents are currently selling everything back home in order to join her.
I just felt I was not aligned anymore with the country. A lot of hate as a Jewish woman, a lot of trouble. And it's not just about the young people, but also the leader opinion. My soul was sick.
Israel's law of return means that any Jewish person can move here, whatever the reason. Officials note that this year, immigration from France and Ukraine more than doubled. And they note, for the first time ever, more Jews moved here from France than from anywhere else in the world. In some parts of Tel Aviv now, signs and menus in French are more prevalent than English and even Hebrew. Still, the obstacles to a new life may be more challenging. But some say it's a small price to pay. I don't want to worry about my child going into the street and getting hit by a bullet. I want her to play sports and to study, and to have a bright future, the one she deserves. And that's why we came to Israel. She says she misses Ukraine. They all do. But now they picture their lives here, and they try not to look back. Roee, Ruttenberg, CCTV in northern Israel.